I'm Andrea. I am originally from Denmark. I live in Portugal and I'm an artist. I work digitally, so my work starts with sort of like with a feeling, with something in the body, and then technology sets the boundaries for what is possible. In the beginning, I was curious because there's a lot of mediums where you cannot penetrate the screen. It's like film, it's very kind of one-sided, and I thought it was extremely fascinating that you can actually have a conversation with the person on the other side. And that's how I got into games. And then, and then slowly I sort of found my niche, which is feminist art games. So the first time I became aware of feminism was, but I didn't know it was called feminism. I was very young. And I was always an avid reader. I'm an only child, so it's like books were my whole world. So I read a lot of books a day. And then like suddenly at one point, I was maybe like 7 or 8, I realized that all the characters in this book were men. And these were all the characters that I wanted to be, right? I wanted to go out into the world and do all these crazy things that these characters did. And suddenly I realized, but I can't. Because I'm a girl, that was like the message that these books told me, and it was very devastating. And then, like, I don't know what I would have done if Pippi Longstocking hadn't been there. It was amazing what Astrid Lindgren has done to so many girls. Like, when I look back, that was my first encounter with, my gender and what it and how it was limiting to like my possibilities in life. When I became a teenager, I had so much sexual energy, and I just like wanted to go out and have sex with everyone, basically. And it was like it was almost like a confusion. I would come into a room and there would be so many people, and like, who should I choose? Or and so this like kind of and I did that. Fortunately, in coming from Denmark, we don't have so many like. I would say religious restrictions in that sense. Of course, there's still like misogyny, like extreme misogyny, but at least I had a bit of liberty to go out and do these things. So that sort of carried on into my work, where I was very interested in like the gender roles within sex, female pleasure. How can we put more focus on the female body? So it's not like something you don't talk about, like the period, all this I wanted to normalize, and doing that with the medium of games. Can't touch this, can't touch this. Yeah, can't touch this. Can't touch this was because we wanted to take the word back. It was like, this is not a bad word, this is a word that we want to own. And so we did an adaptation of a Cant coloring book T.A. Corinne made in the 70s, I think 60s and 70s. And then we made it into this game where you, with these like broad kind of strokes, can color all these different vulvas. And it's it's pretty amazing. Like, and we wanted to like also bring her sort of these amazing drawings to life in this medium. And then we had a lot of play on words. Continue, and then it went on, and it was also fun, right? Even though like I'm extremely serious about what I do, I also have this other thing where like I just need to laugh, because it's like otherwise it's too much. Like feminism is kind of permeating my everyday life all the time, and you can get kind of very sad and tired, like going out into the world and seeing this constant like misogynist behavior around you. So I just need to laugh. I think for sure there's something like this thing about games that you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Without having to actually like be physically injured or something happening to you, but just by this imagination, I think it's very powerful. And I think there's a slow movement of, especially in these big mainstream games, of including more and more different avatars you can choose from. So not only white men, but there has been a demand actually from the players that they want to have women, they want to have animals, they want to have, all different kinds of things that you can be. I think it's very, very strong. And I think even like with our game La Petite Mort about female pleasure, where where you touch a vulva. I think we have seen some male players play that game, and I think it was kind of an eye-opener to them, you know? And a way that you can do it in sort of like in a safe environment and experiment with some things and make your own aha moments. For me, the ideal world is that everybody is just equal and people can just do whatever they want, you know, and be whatever gender they want, and just like it don't be bound by societal restrictions. But I think we're pretty far away from that. So in the last like big game we did, we really thought about that. We wanted to make a genderless character, and we even thought, is this even possible? Will I, as like me writing the story, will I put my feelings and emotion on it so people will anyway think, okay, it's a female character? Like, it's a big question, but I want to say we had feedback from players that talked about the character as a he, and feedback from players that talked about it as a she. So this was, and a they also, so this was pretty, I was like, yes, I did it, you know?